Hello, 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 and welcome to this training where we're going to be talking about how you can find your power punches in business using human design. So, I am really excited about this one. Obviously, if you know anything about me, you know that I love human design. I think it's super amazing, and it's super in depth. So, there's so many different angles you can go at something. There's a million aspects of it. And so today, what I want to share with you guys is how you can find your power punches. And this can be for life or business, but I'm going to try to keep this focus on business. Because that's what the title says, and I want to make sure that you get what you came for. But I will tell you, there's so many amazing things about human design, and as I've studied it, there's some key things that I've become really aware of, and I've tested these, and I'm really excited to share this with you because this is a system that I've been building for over a month now, and it's something that we've tested on ourselves. Like, I've tested on me, I've tested on a few of my clients, even my spouse. I had him do all these worksheets before I put all of this together for you guys. And so it's something that we've been kind of testing, because the reality is that when we look at somebody and we're like, damn, that person's really good at this thing, or their business really works because of this, right? And then we try to implement that same thing, we don't always get the same result because we're not the same person. We're not them, right? And then somebody will come along and they're like, oh, you're so great at this thing. And we're like, no, we're not. We kind of reject it, right? And so this is amazing because we're going to use your human design chart. If you don't have that, I'll show you how to get that in a second. But we're going to use your human design chart, and we're going to find your specific power punches. These are the things that if you incorporate into your business or your life, how you offer, how you sell, kind of what the structure of your business, it is going to make your business not only easier, but it's going to be impactful. Like, you're going to be able to build a business that impacts more people easier, right? In a way that feels so in alignment. And I always am a fan of set your soul free, set your soul free, set your soul free. Let your soul guide you. Let your soul freaking determine where your business is going. Let your soul decide so many things for you, right? Let's get out of this fear, scarcity kind of stuff, and let's just really lean into the experience of being here on earth, right? And so I'm excited to share this with you guys today because it's going to bring so much clarity for you in your business and how your structure of your business specifically is working, and maybe what to add more into your business, if that makes sense. It's not maybe, it will. You're gonna have so much clarity after this. It's ridiculous. So let's talk about this. So in human design, there is what is called kind of this different circuitries, right? There's different circuits in human design. It's not heavily talked about in that way. We're going to use the channels today. So if you've heard of channels, you'll understand what I'm talking about there. If not, once again, you don't need to know because we're going to cover it in a minute. But what I will tell you guys is that there is something called circuits in human design. And essentially, this is kind of how the energy flows through your chart. So in human design, you have 9 centers, right? 9 different centers. And each of those centers either are open, meaning that they are white in your chart, and so you take energy in, or they are defined, and that kind of is you putting energy out into the world, right? And so what this means and what happens to decide your circuit is we look at what centers, but really what gates you have that are connecting, that create a channel, that are filled in, because this is going to show us how the energy flows from one center of your chart to the next center of your chart, and from one center of that to the next center and to the next center. And so it almost creates your unique kind of life cycle, your kind of unique life pattern, if you will. And these are things that are going to be constantly showing up in your life. And so just like anything else, if we can say, okay, let's map a marketing strategy, right? Let's map a customer flow, and we can map the customer's flow from, point A of not knowing who we are, to point B of being aware of us, to point C being interested in what we have to offer, and point D being able to purchase from us, right? And then after that, being able to become a returning customer, right? And so if we can map the customer flow and the customer journey, right, and it helps us in business to be able to have that map, what do you think it's going to do for you to be able to map your energetic cycle, your energetic flow, right? And so I'm really excited because this is going to help you see your gifts, things that come natural to you, things that just move in a very smooth, natural flow, and or like a wave. It's just constantly going to be doing the same thing, right? Whatever yours looks like. So it's powerful, and I'm excited to get into it. So let's dive in. Okay, also I do have to say, this is made for business. I mentioned that you could use this for your life as well. Human design is not just meant for business. I just personally love, I love my spiritual journey. I love human design. And so if you are anywhere on your phase of your business, whether you've been successful in doing it for years or you are just starting out, it doesn't really matter. You can take this information and apply it. It's just going to make your business more powerful. And if you're at a space where you don't want to focus on your business, and even if you do, the chances of this showing up in your actual personal life are very great. So just know that as you're doing this, we're going to talk about business, but it can kind of come back and apply to your life as well. So, and then by the end of this, you're going to know which which circuits you have. And then there are going to be trainings. So there's other trainings for this. And you're going to go watch those specific trainings for your individual ones. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to teach you all about circuitry. I'm going to teach you all about how to find your gifts. And then we're going to actually go do that. So let's talk about this. So like I mentioned, studied this on myself first, then I had some clients, then I did it with my husband, and holy shit, it was absolutely insane. And so, you know me, I love the feeling of alignment. I love the feeling kind of being unique and being my own thing. I love like having my own independence and like just being in a space of like, whatever the hell Elisa wants is what Elisa's going to do, right? And I love the feeling of ease, and I love the feeling of success and everything working out for me, right? And so what I love about this is that as I mapped these things out, these are things that most people never really understand about themselves. That they don't really understand why these things are working out for them, or why they're in alignment, or why they love to be feeling like they're unique, right? And so there's all these different aspects of who we are. And so when you kind of locate and incorporate these supercharged gifts, is what I'm going to call them, right? And you amplify what it is that you're doing, and you're met with less resistance, more attraction, more ease, because you're just coming into alignment. And so when we can come into alignment, we can hone in on what we really want. And then we can kind of say, okay, now how does this get to be easy for us? Which typically comes in like your gifts, but these are like supercharged gifts, right? All of a sudden, everything starts to work out and it gets a little bit easier. So we're going to talk about the different circuits of human design. So there are 4 different circuits. There's really 3 circuits, and then one kind of integrated channels, it's a circuit, but it's kind of acts like one. So we'll talk about that. But so there's 3 different circuits. So starting out, you have the collective circuit. So what I want you to imagine is there's 3 different kind of circuits we're going to go through here. There's the collective, there's the tribal, and there's the individual. So the collective is really all about the collective, right? This is one for everyone, right? Like we are all for everyone. We are here. And we're just for everyone. Like that is the best way to put that, right? So this is the collective circuit. So people in this circuit often have like this like social obligation or need or desire to tell others what they think, right? Because it's like, I'm not just for me. I don't just want to like keep everything here. It's like, I want to help the world get better. I want to help humanity, right? And so they're very much like, they have this, like, I need to tell others what I'm thinking. They want to talk about their experiences, what they judge, what they didn't judge, what they value, what they don't value, right? Like they are just constantly kind of these humans that really want to express with the rest of the world. So they like to share their opinions, dilemmas, solutions, expectations. If they have breakthroughs, they want to share them, right? Because it's going to help the collective. Giving out this information and sharing helps the collective, right? And so they're really focused on like society and what is good for the majority of people. That is the collective, right? So then you have the tribal circuit, and the tribal circuit is really what connects us to life and each other through kind of like our senses, our ancestry, loyalty, like you think your bloodline, right? So it's more tribal. So it's very much like, I'm for everyone in my tribe. like I can love everyone. That's really cool. But what I really love is my tribe. So if it was my tribe versus your tribe, my tribe is what I'm focused on making sustainable, right? And so we're not necessarily focused on like the whole world. We're focused on, like that loyalty in our ancestry and our tribes and our bloodlines and our communities, right? Like we're very much loyal. And I say we because I have a tribal one, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But tribe makes sense to me. Community makes sense to me. If you're in my space, you hear me talk about it all the time. Community. I love community. I actually told my husband a few months ago, I just want to be known as the girl who like builds communities, right? And it's so funny. It's like tribal, right? So people in these circuits, there's a lot of them, but people in these circuits, they're very sensitive to people's basic needs. So like somebody, they like food, shelter, water, a hug, like you're just really sensitive to, people's basic needs. And really the goal is that we work together to make life happen. So everybody has kind of a different role that they play in the tribe. And if you do this for me, then I'll do this for you. And if you do this for the tribe, then I'll do this for the tribe. And it kind of creates this like ecosystem, this smaller ecosystem, right? It's the tribe, right? It's the community. So that is the tribe. Then you have the individual circuit. And so the individual circuit is kind of the most complex of them all, because in human design, once again, you have 9 centers, right? And so the individual circuit, it actually reaches all 9 centers. And so you'll see what I mean when I show you guys some channels, but really what's happening here is it is very much in the present moment. It is all about integrating and becoming, right? These are people that really just follow their own beat. Like they are going to do what they want to do, and that is what they're going to do. It's very individual, right? It can't help but be that way. And it's actually really important for them to be that way because it helps us understand that we are separate from each other and that we have like this kind of like free will, this free choice, this, right? And so, and we can't evolve without that individuality. And so they're determined to follow their own direction. Like I said, they march to the beat of their own drum. When they become super clear and ready to embody inspiration and differentiation, they lead by example. So when they can help us when they step into their inspiration and what makes them different from the rest of the world, and they can see how, I'm separate from this and I'm separate from our ancestors. That's a big one, right? Is that a lot of times they can see how in the past it was like this, but it doesn't need to be that way anymore. They have this ability to separate. And when they do that, they lead by example, and it actually shifts the entire collective. So even though they're very individual, it's still a very much needed part, right? Like all of these, like you have the collective, you have the tribal, you have the individual, they're all very much needed for us as a human race to function, right? And then the fourth one is actually, it's not a circuit, but it's just integrated channels. So these are, it's still an individual process for them. And so there is the process of like distinguishing from, other people, but they're very focused on more so self-preservation and empowering the individual nature. So it's more of like an empowering others kind of thing. They're very into like self, their identity, their direction, their behavior. How are they expressing themselves? Do they have self-love? This is a really big thing for anybody that has an integrated channel. Very big on self-love, like self. Like if I could say it 20 more times, I would. It's all about the self. And so they trust that life kind of lies within us, and they kind of have to be allowed and encouraged to kind of be self-sufficient. So this isn't like it's selfish, but it's not really selfish in a negative way, right? And so it's just there's 4 integrated channels, and so we'll talk about them as we go. If you have one of them, but what I'll tell you is that technically all 4 of these are needed. So the 3 circuits and the integrated channels are all needed to be able to help life progress. Kind of like in human design, how you have the 4 different, types, like the manifestor, the generator, the projector, the reflector. Like you have these different types, right? And they all kind of have their own role and or gifts and uniqueness that they bring to society, which then create us all to be one. If we took out the projectors, that like we would fail miserably. If we took out generators, well, we wouldn't have very much energy. And if we took out the manifestors, we'd all be like, what are we doing? Where do we go? We need something to initiate. Like we need someone to initiate, so we have something to respond to. And so it's kind of the same thing in human design when you look at these circuits, which is why it's shocking to me that they're not talked about more. But that's okay, because I'm really excited to bring this to you guys, because I've once again been studying this. And I think in my human design journey, I started out obviously learning like my own charts and like really studying like that. And then the next thing I did actually was I went to couples charts. And that was just so fascinating to me to see how people connect. It's not like you're not compatible or compatible with somebody, but it's just seeing how compatible you can be with this person as far as like how do you interact and your energies exchanged. And that was really exciting. So I went from like individual charts to like my relationship charts, which were really fun, even with my kids. Like I love that. And then I went, how do you apply this to business? Like I know there's got to be a way. And like, yeah, I've talked about like, okay, if you're a generator, here's some things you can put in your business that will help you. If you're a manifesting generator, like I'm a manifesting generator, and so I can definitely speak on like a ton of like how do you apply those things to business. And so I've done a few trainings on those things, but really what I love to study is once again what makes me unique and what makes me kind of feel unique, what makes me feel aligned and inspired. And as I did that, there would be these doubts, right? So you're going along, you're making your business plan. And then all of a sudden come these doubts, and you're just like, am I really doing the right thing? Does that really make sense though? People tell me I'm great at this thing, but am I really? And we kind of push away our greatness. You know what I mean? Because we've been trained to, because the world has been taught we all need to be the exact same. We all need to, think the same. And if we don't have the same opinion as somebody, then we're bad or they're bad or something's not right. And what I love about this is that, and human design specifically, is that it really allows you to kind of be yourself, which to be honest with you, I loved, because I loved that before I learned anything about human design. Human design is just a tool that kind of helps support that. And so I am absolutely obsessed. So there's 4 things that I'm going to have you do in the future trainings that we're going to be coming up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at we have to identify your channels. We have to identify your channels so you know which circle you in. Are you more tribal? Are you more integrated? Are you more individual? Are you somebody who's really one for all and you're really for the collective, right? And I always love this because sometimes it will shock people what part, like they're like I have people say all the time, like, oh, I must be individual because I'm so about me, right? And it's like, yeah, because the world told you that you're about you, but then it's really fun to find out when they're like, oh shoot, I really am about the collective. And then they look at their chart and they study the specific things that I'm going to walk you guys through on their chart, and they start to realize, damn, I like that is me to a T, right? Especially when I'm in alignment and success is working out for me, that is me to a T, but I've just been told that I was a different way, right? And so I love that. So we're gonna identify your channels. Then I'm gonna have you guys watch the other trainings on your circuits. Then you're gonna read your channels kind of power punches, because that's the point of this. I really want you to get like, what are your individual power punches in business? What are the things that make your business so fucking amazing that literally it can't help but grow? And I'm not just talking about like, what can you sell? That's great. That's awesome. You can incorporate it better. But I'm talking about the structure of your business. I'm talking about the communication of your business. I'm talking about the marketing of your business and how like everything in your business. Like if we can just incorporate these few things, your business becomes a power punch, right? And so these power punches in your business make your business a power punch. And so yeah, so I'm going to have you guys read through your individual power punches, and then at the end of that, we'll journal, incorporate them into your business. So this training is really to help you understand the power of circuitry. You could definitely go study it more. I do want to get you guys, I want you guys to see your channels. So let me share my screen with you really fast. If you don't have, let me find, gotta go back over here. Yeah. Okay, so actually, let me show you this one because this will be easier. Let's see, share screen. Let's share this one first, and then I'll show the other one. So let's go ahead and look at this. So this is, if you have your human design chart, this is what you're looking at. If you don't, I'm going to give you a link in a second that will help you find it. So once you have that, then you can come back, pause this video after you use that link, and then come back, and then you can or rewind the video, I guess, and then look at this. So you can kind of see here, we have the different circuits, right? So we have the collective circuit, the tribal, individual, and then the integrated channels over here. So really what's happening is you're going to look at your chart and you're going to see, do I have any of these connecting channels? So once again, where 2 numbers connect, that's really all I want you to think about. Do I have something that 2 numbers connects? Because you're going to have some that go halfway and they don't quite connect. We're not looking at those. We are looking at the ones that connect, right? And so most people have anywhere from like 1 to like 5. I have done charts where somebody has none, which would make them a reflector, so they wouldn't be watching this video. And then I have done charts where I have had people have 7 before, and that was nuts, and that was crazy. And I was like, holy shit, this person is like got so many different dynamics to their chart. It was actually really cool to read. And so everybody, you're gonna have some, and you might actually have some in each of these. And that's cool too. And so it's kind of exciting to kind of see. So what you're going to first do is you're going to find your chart, and then we're going to use this guide, and you're going to find what circuits do you have. So if you don't have your chart, let me stop sharing that and actually start sharing the other things so you can go find your chart. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so if you don't have your chart, you can print this guide or download this guide. It's attached below this video. But basically, you're just going to come into this PDF and you're going to click on one of these 2. I don't care which one you use. I always cross-reference my charts because I've never seen a difference in doing any of the readings that I've ever done, but I have friends that have seen differences. And so in their chart, like slight little differences here and there based on the chart they use. So I love this top one up here. It's my favorite one of the 2. This one right here, some people love it, some people hate it. So you decide. When I say hate it, it's because it doesn't match the other one. But once again, I've never encountered that. So look at both of these. You can cross-reference them, or you can just click on it. And then once you have your chart, we're going to take note of the channels. So this is going to be, once again, kind of going back to this. We're going to say, okay, do we have this channel, this channel, this channel, this channel? The reason that I wanted to make this other one for you, though, let me share my screen again over here. The reason I wanted to make this for you guys is because I wanted you to be able to see. So like right here, it looks like there's like all 4 channels. So right here, there's actually a lot of happening. So there's this channel, there's this channel, there's this channel, there's this channel, right? So if you have an integrated if you have anything in this space right here, it's really 4 centers that kind of connect in various ways. And so it can be easy to think, oh my gosh, I'm integrated and I'm individual. And the reality is it's not necessarily true. So integrated channels are going to be like the 3410. So this is going to be like the 3410. That's over here. And then the 3410 is also over here, right? Or not 10. The 3410 is over here, and the 1020 is over here. So it's a little bit different. So it kind of leads to a different spot. So you have, let's say you're going to 10 to 20. It's very different, but you still have the same number, but you don't have the same 2 numbers. And so what I want you to take note is most of you can just look at this and say, okay, what do I have? You don't need to read all the numbers. If you want to read the numbers, you totally can. For me, it's easier just to look at this and go, oh, I have this one right here. Boom. I have this one right here. Boom. It's easy. So, but when you get to these 4 right here, right, where these 4 connect, make sure that you look at, do I have these numbers over here? So screenshot this, pause this, ask yourself, is my numbers, are they over here or are they over here? Right? It's probably easiest if you just ask if they're over here. If they're not, then it's individual. You're going to go this way. And so totally pretty simple. Screenshot this. We'll also put the PDF below so you'll have it. But really what I want you to do before moving on to the next part of this is, honestly, I want you to find your channels. What channels do you have and what circuit videos do you need to watch? Because there's going to be individual trainings on each of these individual circuits. That way you don't all have to watch something that doesn't apply to you. And then you're going to go watch those videos, and then you're going to journal on them. You're going to find your channels and you're going to journal on them. So first step of this whole thing to work is to go and write down your circuits. So look at your chart, find your chart and see which circuits you have, and then click on the correct training video that shows you and teaches you where you can find your power punches. And they have their own worksheets. They're very different. And so make sure you do find yours. We'll go through it. You'll know if you're in the wrong spot as we go through it. But I'm excited to share with you guys, because this is going to literally help you build not only, like I said, some great things for your business and for you, but it's going to build the foundation. It's going to build the thing that separates you from everybody else in your industry. It's the thing that separates you from everybody else around you, right? And so it's absolutely crazy and insane. So I'm excited. Thanks for watching this training. I hope this kind of helped you see that there is not just one thing in human design. There's lots of things in how collectively everything kind of moves and functions together. And let's dive into your individual circuitry. So find that, and then I will see you guys in the next training videos.